Thank you for tuning in to another episode of What's Your Favorite Movie? The podcast that needs to gross $1.5 billion worldwide to be considered a success. That's right, folks. It's the big summer movie preview show for 2016 because, hey, this summer might be lurking one of your favorite movies in the future. That didn't come out right at all, but you get my drift. It's just the way I'm tying in doing a summer movie preview show. Joining me in the What's Your Favorite Movie studio today is my dear friend Kevin. How you doing, Kevin?
I am great. How are you, Mr. Ed?
I'm so good. Thanks for driving all the way up here to East BF for to the studio to do the show. And you might have heard Kevin on a previous episode of the What's Your Favorite Movie podcast, but he's here to join me today, not to talk about necessarily his favorite films, but what's coming out this summer, and we'll see what sounds good, what sounds horrible, and what's in between. Doesn't that sound like fun, Kevin?
It does, and I drove up here because it is fun. I'm actually quite glad to be back in the studio with you, and excited to see what's coming out this summer.
Oh, yes. So many fine films. Do we have you all ready with anticipation?
Tim Curry's ready in anticipation.
What? What is that a reference to?
Rocky Horror?
Oh, okay. Oh, right over my head.
You just lost 20 listeners.
I know.
They went, this guy doesn't know Rocky Horror.
Every time...
You may want to start this over now.
Every time somebody mentions a movie that everybody has seen but me, and then I say, oh, I never saw that. I never saw Silence of the Lambs. You can just hear the people tuning out right there.
I get the same thing for The Lion King. All honesty, right. I just get people jumping down my throat. You haven't seen The Lion King? It's amazing. Yeah, but I was 30 when it came out, and I don't have children.
I was 28 and didn't have children or whatever. But the thing is, there's so many movies out there. Everybody except like Leonard Maltin and a few others can see every movie.
Right.
No matter what, no matter how many classics, everybody's gonna miss something or other. Did I introduce myself? My name's Ed South, which I guess you all know that. But come follow me on Twitter at Ed South, and please follow the show on Twitter at WYF Movie Podcast. And we have lots of movie fun there, and there's all kinds of stuff tied in with the show. And Kevin's on the Twitter now at KevinJoelAnder2, ANDER2. And the show's email is favemoviepodcast@yahoo.com. Quick note on episode 6. If you send us an email, you will officially be the first person to use that email account still. So,
oh, man, I'm going to beat them all to it. Where's my phone? Let me get an email going here.
I have to tell a quick what's your favorite movie follow-up story real quick at the top of the show. So in a previous episode, Diana, my guest Diana, was talking about the movie Flipper and how I was obsessed with it back in the summer of '96. And one of my angles on the film that I was obsessed with is that dolphins eat a fish jello when they're in captivity. They're fed fish jello.
Fantastic. That sounds so delicious. Where are the Ritz crackers, please?
Delicious, and also completely fascinating. Ed, tell us more about fish jello. So I was obsessed with fish jello again after that episode recorded. So yesterday I'm with my kids at Hershey Park, which is a local theme park for those of you not in the area. And
for those of you that haven't been on Earth for more than 10 minutes.
And we're at they have a show with sea lions and seals and whatnot. And the trainers are feeding them fish usually. And all of a sudden, I see these big squares of yellow going into the seal's mouth. And I was like, fish jello! Oh, I was so excited. Wow. So after the show, the kids are like, all right, let's go ride some rides. I was like, no, Daddy has to go talk to the, whatever she is, marine biologist or animal trainer or whatever. So I made my way down there and got to talk to the girl that were doing the show. And I asked her all about fish jello. Much to my dismay, it's not actually fish jello. It's just regular gelatin without the flavoring.
Because, boy, that's good for dolphins, right?
Well, sea lions and seals, and they live in salt water, and the jello is made with fresh water, so that's a way for them to get the fresh water.
I see.
And I said, well, what about fish jello? Don't dolphins eat fish jello? And she does not have any experience with dolphins, so she could not confirm nor deny the existence of fish jello, but she did say they made ice cakes for the seals, and that's a whole nother show, right? Ice cakes, yes.
I'm quite literally speechless, which is not really great for a podcast. Let me just say one thing, though. What chocolate factory doesn't have a bunch of sea lions flopping around a swimming pool out there?
Where are you, Nestle? Where's your park, Nestle?
Exactly.
Nestle.
You talk to me about Ghirardelli. You talk about a sea lion in the mix, and then we'll go to Belgium and see what's up.
You think about Hershey versus Ghirardelli. Ghirardelli. Hershey park tickets are like $60 a pop, so Ghirardelli Ghirardelli Park tickets would be like $300.
400, yeah, it would be terribly expensive.
And we have to mention while we're talking about chocolate, what's the chocolate place in the mall? The fancy chocolate place where you went to apply for a job all the time.
It's
Linz?
No, it's something
Godiva.
Godiva. That's
Godiva,
it.
right.
I was gonna say it's another G one. Godiva, right? Yeah, I got a job application because it was during a summer, I guess, or something when I was
Right.
looking for a job. And you should go check out my Twitter page so you can see what I look like. Because
At Kevin
if-
Joel Anderton.
Right, thanks. If you go to a Godiva store, usually it's like young females that work there for some reason, or really gay guys. And I don't really look like either one of those, so I guess I wasn't getting the job. But on the application, I did note, as I showed you then, they were very interested in people who had good dictaphone skills. And because apparently their job application was created in 1921 when dictaphones were the
Were a
hot thing. So, and God knows if you're going to process chocolate and you can't use a dictaphone, you
Which
just don't
people
belong
probably
in
don't
that
even know what a
business.
dictaphone is. It's like something you talk into and it
Yeah,
translates it. And
essentially it was an early recorder,
Right.
voice recorder.
one time I applied for a job this has nothing to do with movies, but we'll move on.
None of this has.
Right, but who cares? Applied for a job driving a trolley somewhere, and they wanted to know what papers I had published.
Sure.
Theory of trolley driving.
Well, there was my doctorate on Burr Lives and his conducting of trains.
All right, let's talk about what's coming out this summer. Now, it's the big summer movie season. It's the beginning of June right here, so we already missed May because May is when the movies start, and we've had the Captain America and X-Men's been out, and the Angry Birds movie was out. And let me tell you, folks, the Angry Birds movie is every bit as wretched as you would expect.
Oh, I can only
took my
imagine.
kids to see it, and it is horrible. And it's also... it's not horrible as itself as a movie. It's just what movies are becoming is just horrible. And
Right.
here's the thing I wanted to touch on that is movie related. In the Angry Birds movie, a character, an eagle character, urinates for well over a minute and a half, and you see it. You don't see an eagle phallus, right, an eagle pee-pee, but you do see the urine, a big, thick, yellow stream of urine for over a minute. And before that, there's a trailer for another cartoon movie where a rabbit poops on camera, and the rabbit gets, like, scared and poops out a bunch of Raisinets or whatever, and they show it, and you see the poop. So we've already gone from fart jokes, which weren't a thing in kids' movies 10, 15 years ago, to now seeing excrement and urine on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, it's
sad.
toilet humor.
It's toilet humor, but it's
And
way
It's
too
a
far.
shame that it's in such a movie for such young kids. I mean, I know that passes for porn in Germany, but I mean, in this country, we don't go out for
It's
that.
family viewing in Germany. So the big movie this summer, I think one of the biggest movies, and I don't think I'm being biased because it's totally in my wheelhouse, but I think one that everybody is anxious to see is
Hold on, let me tweet out about your wheelhouse here while you're... Go ahead.
You mean at Kevin Joel Anderton?
Yeah. Entering Ed's wheelhouse. Why is your wife jealous? What's going on in here?
That was a big hit in Germany also. Finding Dory coming out June 17th. This is the new Pixar film. And, of course, a sequel to the movie Finding Nemo. Now, talking about movies, you never saw Lion King. I know you never saw Finding Nemo
No.
either.
I'm just not a fan of that type of movie.
Understood.
I have nothing against it. I don't have
Understood.
any kids, so...
I like cartoon movies, obviously, and I've seen pretty much all of them that came down the pike, even before I had kids. But I feel there's a handful of films, Finding Nemo, one of them, along with The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and Toy Story and Monsters, Inc., that transcend the animation genre and are really, really good films. And if you sat down and relaxed that it's a cartoon and it's, a little frenetic in that department, you would love Finding Nemo. It's such a good movie.
I don't have anything against cartoon movies, though. I understand what you're saying. I mean, I've watched cartoon movies, and Fritz the Cat's a cartoon movie, and, but it's
True.
not meant for kids.
No.
So I mean, there's a distinction of
Right.
what's
Family.
meant for adults and what's family oriented, and generally with family oriented stuff, it often has stuff in it for adults, like British Panto. How like
here we
British
go,
Panto has subtle humor for the adults that the kids aren't going to get. So from that perspective, I can appreciate it. But I just can't invest 2 hours of my life sitting there.
If the movie was
watching.
called Finding Panto, would you go see it?
I might. I might, but I'm definitely.
So the new Finding Nemo 2, Finding Dory's coming out June 17th. It's got Ellen's back in it as Dory, and Albert Brooks. And they added Ed O'Neill to the cast.
Oh,
because
nice.
when you think of an octopus, why not think Ed O'Neill?
I know I do.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a great movie. We don't need to talk much in detail about it because it's all over the TV. It's in stores.
My favorite Lionel Richie song. We don't need to talk any much about it.
The Nemos.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just sidetrack you.
No. And speaking of singing, June 3rd is Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. And that is the Andy Samberg and the Lonely Island guys doing a movie. You know them from Saturday Night Live. They did all the short films.
Sure.
So now let's do a 90-minute version of one of those. But it looks really funny. It's kind of a parody of the Justin Bieber rock, concert documentary that he had out a few years ago. And Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I know you enjoy.
I've watched it a few times, and I thought it was pretty funny. But I'm not a regular viewer, but that's only because I don't have time to sit and watch a lot of TV shows, so I'm very selective about ones I really engage in.
I really like Andy Samberg's first film, Hot Rod, about, you ever seen that? I can see the blank look on your face. He's like a
race car driver.
He's a motorcycle stunt guy or whatever. Just a really good film. Also out on June 3rd, I know you're going to be first in line to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Are you kidding me? I'm blown out of my shell over the whole thing. Thank you.
This is the second film of the second Ninja Turtle franchise because they rebooted it.
Right.
And I think this is one of those films where the Turtle movie came out a couple years ago and it did well, but it wasn't that great. So I think they're kind of finding a better voice here, and it's going to be better. I liked the Ninja Turtle movies from when we were younger. I was too old for them when they came out, but I still went and saw them.
I never really was a big fan of it. I'm not against it. But, yeah, I mean, it's just not my type of thing.
You're not anti-Turtle.
But I am anti-remake, so,
Well, it's not a remake, it's a reboot. That's the difference.
Well, I can't say what I think about that right now because,
Well, we'll get into some other remakes in a minute that are a little more...
remakes or reboots?
Reboots.
Which is it, Ed?
I mean, we're not talking high art with the Ninja Turtles. I have to say, though, one of my favorite movie-going experiences, one of the just an awesome experience when I was younger, is we went and saw the original Ninja Turtle movie when it came out in theaters, kind of as a joke, because it was still kind of silly, like putting those four words together, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like,
right.
Really, that's a thing? And a couple of us from high school went and saw the movie opening night, not thinking anything of it, and we went, and it was mobbed. And I don't mean like just little kids. It was all kinds of people. It was so packed. I have literally, to this day, that was 1990, never been to a movie that crowded. It was so ridiculous.
Wasn't that based on a comic
book? Yeah, and it was a cartoon
so it had a good
first. Yeah.
Already.
It was a cartoon that when it kind of went big, and the movie followed pretty quickly, unlike the Angry Birds, which came out like 7 years after Angry Birds were a thing. But they were hot on the Ninja Turtle property. June 24th, there's a movie coming out called Free State of Jones. Have you heard about this?
Nope.
Seen the trailer for it? It's Matthew McConaughey, and it's the true story of Newton Knight, who leads a group of poor whites and local slaves in an uprising against the Confederate Army. And that's supposed to be
I do believe I did see a commercial for that last night.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, okay.
So Free State of Jones, first of all, when I seen the trailer and whatever, but first of all, it also has Carrie Russell in it, who my heart just swells for.
Sure
Carrie Russell. She's in The Americans now, that TV show The Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
She was Felicity. That show Felicity.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that I know for sure.
And she was on the Mickey Mouse Club is where I first fell in love with her, which I know you were a big fan of.
I have nothing against the Mickey Mouse
But it should be pretty good. Directed by...
Funicello was
This is true, a different version of the Mickey Mouse Club. Directed by Gary Ross, who did the original Hunger Games and Pleasantville. Those are two big, pretty popular.
And his brother Glenn Gary was also...
Right, he's busy closing right now. He's always closing.
ABC, baby.
Right.
Always be closing.
June 10th brings us... Ladies and gentlemen, The Conjuring 2.
Oh, boy.
I wasn't even sure The Conjuring 1 was a thing.
I actually saw The Conjuring in the movie theater.
Oh, look at this.
Because a good friend of ours named James, who's into hauntings and horror-type films, this movie basically revolves around the two demonologists, Lorraine and Ed Warren. I believe Ed Warren's dead now, but I think Lorraine Warren's still kicking around. But they're demonologists, so essentially it's a you can see me doing quotes,
air quotes
right now for those listening. I'm doing air quotes. It's a true story about their experience trying to rid some house of some demonic spirit.
And apparently there was enough spirits for a 2, June 10th.
I would imagine there's more demonic spirits than there are follow-ups or reboots. But anyway.
And then there's a big tentpole film coming out June 17th, Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah.
A mild-mannered accountant is lured into the world of international espionage.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just guess that the mild-mannered accountant is not The Rock.
No.
Because he doesn't really come across as mild-mannered with those humongous arms.
I think this is like the 10th film where Kevin Hart is like the little meek guy who gets wrapped up with somebody who is a big bad action star. But I'm sure it's going to be funny, and I'm sure there'll be a sequel. It looks pretty
funny, actually. Well, maybe. It looks funny to me, and actually I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Good. I think he's a great... seems like a really good guy and good actor, I think, in a lot of ways.
Great screen presence. Even when he's in a bad movie, he's good in a bad movie.
That's true. I agree with that. And actually, he was the Scorpion King. I thought that was a pretty decent movie. But again, it's because of him. I think what you said really nailed it.
He has a good presence. And I'm glad to see him breaking out of just being the wrestler in a movie and really...
Yeah, and it's good to see Kevin Hart getting the work that Chris Tucker should be getting. But anyway, just kidding, Kevin Hart.
Hey, look, if Kevin...
Go get a velvet jacket.
I got an email that Chris Tucker is doing a concert in Baltimore or something. And then
what?
Yeah.
Like a stand-up?
He's just going to talk... He's just going to sell copies of Rush Hour 3. I don't know.
He's just going to stand on the face while Asian guys stand on the face. He's going to stand... I blew that joke. He's going to stand on the stage while Asian guys kick him in the face, and he goes, "Which one of y'all did that?" And then he just sells a book. It's amazing. I wish I could do that. So anyway.
And then, let's see, also in June we have Independence Day Resurgence. What was the name of that? Independence Day Resurgence, a sequel 20 years later to ID4, which...
Okay, so I'm looking at your cast list for this, and I'm not seeing Harvey Fierstein. So is it fair to assume that he's dead now?
Who is
Harvey Fierstein? It was Jeff Goldblum's father.
Oh, I guess
or his uncle. It was no, it was not Jeff Goldblum. It was.
No, he's in it. The guy from Taxi.
Yeah.
Alex Hirsch.
Alex Hirsch.
Yeah, he's in it. He's in the trailer.
Okay, but Harvey Fierstein's not.
Was he in the first one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Isn't Harvey Fierstein in Godzilla also from the same director?
I think Harvey Fierstein is Godzilla. I'm not sure.
He sounds like Jeff Goldblum.
Now get in my dungeon.
Bill Pullman. I mean, can you really... Jeff Goldblum's awesome, but he doesn't have opening power anymore.
Look, when he's not busy changing the world of apartments on the minternet, on the apartmenternet, he has time to do a resurgence. Not just a movie, a resurgence.
So big, it's not even a 2. It's a resurgence.
We should call this the re-episode, because we've got reboot, redux...
Well, we're doing a summer preview. That's all it is.
Remake, resurgence.
Look, just on this list on this page 2 of our notes, there's 1, 2, 3, like 5 remakes or reboots on here.
You know how I feel about that. I'm going to tell your podcast listeners now. I'm not a fan of remakes for a lot of reasons. Number one, I treasure certain movies that I saw as a child and a teenager, and even an adult. When you really connect with a movie, you treasure it. And you don't want to see, at least I don't, want to see somebody come along and remake it, change it, update it. Let it be. Must be 1,000 starving writers in Hollywood that have new and interesting work that could be being made, but yet we keep rehashing the same old stuff.
You can't use that as an argument because somebody got paid to write the new version, too. So
that's true, but, I could write a remake of a movie. I mean, I'm not saying it's good.
I look at it this way, and on our list here, obviously Ghostbusters coming out this summer opens that can big time. But
goodness, you had to mention that.
Well, we will, but like this summer, and I know you could care less about either of these films, but they're remaking Adventures in Babysitting, which is one. If I was on this podcast as a guest, that would be in my top 5 movies. Was that
the one with Corey Haim?
No, you're thinking of
the
License to Drive,
yeah,
which is a good movie. But Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue, they're remaking that as number 1 as a TV movie. So that right there is...
that is a little different.
Right, and they change, whatever. And to me, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to watch it, even though it's a movie made for 10-year-old girls, much like the first one was, but I'll watch it. It's not going to affect how I love the original movie. It's not going to, like, people are like, don't ruin the original or you ruined my childhood. it's a
Well,
different
look,
movie.
look, they did The Wiz recently.
Right.
Okay? I happen to be a fan of The Wiz. I did not get to see the new one, even though I would like to. Rarely do I really want to see a remake of something, but I can see how, for modern times, and I don't want to go in the whole thing about, there were people that didn't understand it. They didn't understand it was a remake of something, and they thought there was some issues with it. But that's the society we live in, where everything is overly criticized now. Aside from all of that, I thought the original was amazing. I don't think you can beat Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow.
You certainly can't beat Nipsey Russell in anything.
Oh, heck no. But, I just don't. I can kind of see that, but in a way, it's also kind of a ridiculous thing to me. What if they wanted to? I heard they're going to remake The Wizard of Oz at some point. Like, don't touch stuff like that. Just leave it alone.
Yeah,
That's
The
all
Wizard of Oz seems a little.
There are certain iconic things,
right.
and I don't usually get. You know me. I don't usually get carried away with sentimentalism unless it's about song, music. I hear a song on the radio, I start crying. Great. Right. Movies. There's some sentimentality, but not in the same way. It's more of an intellectual thing than a sentimental one.
I just don't get, Ghostbusters is coming out, and people are passionate about their Ghostbusting, and that's fine. If you don't like the new one, first of all, my number one thing is wait until you see it before you pass any judgment on it. If you don't want to see it, that's fine.
Are you talking to me?
I'm just in general. People are outraged about
I'm pretty
Ghostbusters.
upset about it myself, to be honest.
People are, nuts, and I understand people that have made Ghostbuster costumes and drive around in the Ghostbuster car, and they have all this stuff and whatever.
Cosplay, you mean?
Right, exactly. But if you wait till you see the movie, number one, before you pass any judgment on it, and then if you don't like it, then that's it. Then you never have to watch it again.
But why should someone have to pay for something that they already have a negative feeling about, and then on the end result, they
just don't watch it? Then just don't watch it, but shut the hell up about it on the internet. Like, if you don't,
but that's what the internet's for.
Well, that's not why Al Gore invented it.
The internet is for three things. As Avenue Q would tell you, it's for porn. It's for everybody having their own little voice in a world where it used to just be bumper stickers. And it's also for complaining. So, anyway.
Man, I hope they make an Avenue Q movie. That would be
That
awesome.
would actually be pretty cool. I have to say, I saw that show when I was down in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm
jealous. I would love to see it. Avenue Q, by the way, in case you people don't know, that's like a R-rated puppet. It's a kind of a parody of Sesame Street.
It's a parody of Sesame Street, but it deals with real-world issues, especially for recent college students.
All right, and let's real quick to finish out June here. I didn't.
Well, you mentioned Ghostbusters, so you're already in July.
I'm in July, but I just want to say Now You See Me Too on June 10th. Who asked for that?
I didn't see him the first time.
Who's been dying? Who did not see enough of him the first time that they need now? Stop it. Who really
look,
cares?
I admit Jesse Eisenberg isn't hard to look at, but I mean, it's just garbage.
Yeah. And then there's this movie coming out on June 29th called The Shallows with Blake Lively, also not hard to look at. And it combines two of my favorite things in movies. Surfing. I love surfing movies, and I love shark attack movies. So, hey, let's do it. So, let's move.
Is this the one where she gets her arm bitten off? That's something else.
No,
that's the one we saw where
we saw that years
really
ago.
Gorgeous blonde girl gets her arm bitten off, and then you see her in
Soul.
real life, and you're like, well, she's okay looking, but not as good as the one they got in the movie.
Soul Surfer.
Yeah,
I love that movie. Yeah,
I couldn't remember the name of it, but that was actually a decent movie.
You're ahead a page. You're not supposed to listen. You can't hear the paper rattling. All right, so Ghostbusters, July 15th. Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig.
Is Ernie Hudson in it?
They might be doing cameos or something.
No, I don't
but
want anything to do with it.
Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. So three of them are from SNL. Melissa McCarthy is on SNL.
She's very funny. I really like her.
I hate Melissa McCarthy. I will go on record.
Really? I'm
hate
surprised.
her.
I think she's pretty funny.
I think, first of all, Melissa McCarthy is like, I don't know how to say this without being controversial necessarily, but like they'll say like somebody's like being too black, like it's a stereotype performance or whatever.
She's being too fat.
Right, Melissa McCarthy plays fat, like a dumb fat slob. She is a bad. She sets fat people back 50 years, and we're not even 50 years up. Like whatever. She's just a fat slob. She's a one note character. I cannot stand her. Yeah,
those are serious words,
those are serious accusations. I can't stand Melissa McCarthy.
Hey, fair enough.
And I would write this whole movie off except Leslie Jones is in it, and I love Leslie Jones.
Well, I have to say that I'm not a fan of her.
Oh,
not
she is.
to the extent that you feel about Melissa McCarthy, but I'm just not a fan of her. I feel like every time she opens her mouth, she's screaming at me
I
about
just think
something.
she's funny. Some of her monologues on SNL is the best.
But she's
humor
always
I've seen.
screaming right at me.
And so, honestly,
She's got
I
a car
hate...
commercial though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
That's pretty
she's doing
sweet.
great. It's awesome.
What do I got to do to get that?
Right, and she's older than
Maybe
us.
I
She's
should
like,
ask her who you got to get
and
with.
I did read that the director said that this is a movie. He's getting so much slack for putting 4 women in roles instead of the men or whatever.
He's probably getting flack actually, but yeah.
What I say?
Slack.
Flack, hack. Affleck.
Pat and Patty's knick-knack.
Shaq. Here we got a summer movie with 4 women headlining it, and they're all over 40. So that's something right there.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a very good point.
And the best part about the whole Ghostbusters thing is that Ecto Cooler is coming back to stores, and I know you don't know what Ecto Cooler is. Ecto Cooler is a delicious, delicious high C flavor of who knows what it is. It's green and it's fantastic, and it was.
What is it, like a Freezy Pop or a
No,
drink?
it's like a
or
juice,
what?
like a juice box.
It's a juice box.
Like,
Okay.
juice.
When I hear Ecto Cooler, I thought, wow, that's like a cooler that's decked out to look like the Ectomobile with that you could put like a 6-pack of beer.
Well,
in
it could be. You could put the
or
it had-
soda.
It had Slimer in the thing. Why do you have your hand on the notes to turn it over? We're not done that page yet. We have 2 more crappy movies to talk about on this page. All right, so okay. Ghostbusters, July 15th. If you haven't seen it yet, which you haven't, shut up and wait to see it, or don't see it, and then you can talk about it if
Not
you've seen
seeing it.
Fine. Then you shut up about it.
All right.
July 8th, The Secret Life of Pets, the aforementioned film where the rabbit poops all over the place.
Oh, that's what that. Well, Louis C.K. is really funny,
Louis C.K.
too.
is
He
funny.
also just really kicked butt on Jeopardy recently. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not know
I watched
that.
Jeopardy almost every night, and yeah, he was on there as a power player. Again, looking at the air quotes, folks. I don't understand where he's a power player, but somehow or another, I guess they had to fill quasi-celebrity slots.
How many nights in a row do you have to watch Jeopardy before they send you your AARP card? Is that a...
I'm thinking 3. And if you've recently had supper before the show, well, you're in. You are.
I hate that word. I hate
know
the
you
word
do. That's
supper.
why. Remember we used to go to Piccadilly and have supper at 4:30? So anyway,
Piccadilly.
And also Kevin Hart's in this one.
Right.
And wow, he's busy for
He's always
a little
busy,
guy.
yeah.
Even Peter Dinklage doesn't get that kind of work. But anyway.
Peter Dinklage was the eagle that pissed in the water.
Lovely.
Angry Birds. So
wow,
there you
it all
go.
just comes full circle, doesn't it?
July 1st, The Legend of Tarzan.
'cause we need another
I know,
version of that
like,
movie.
Really, Tarzan, Sherlock Holmes, and what else? What else? Dracula. Like, come
Oh,
on.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Tarzan. I can say that since I was a kid, I can remember at least a dozen incarnations of Tarzan, and it's
And none of them have been a huge hit.
No.
Even the Disney one wasn't a huge hit.
But it's to the point of absurdity, because here is back to my point of remakes and redoing. Stop rehashing it. Find something new.
Right. Especially these.
In this day and age, with the animation that's available and the amount of amazing creativity that goes into movies that like Pixar movies and Disney films. Anyway, it's rehacking crap, and I just don't want to see it.
Rehacking crap with
Even
Batman
if Peter Sarsgaard's cousin Alexander Skarsgård is in it. Oh, Christoph Waltz is in it? Well, now
good.
we're talking.
He's
He
good.
is amazing. What's he doing in that crap?
I don't know. But didn't you love him in Muppets Most Wanted, though? Wasn't he great in that?
Unbelievable. How do you go from a Quentin Tarantino movie to a Muppet movie? That shows.
First of all, Quentin Tarantino was in a Muppet movie, and...
Oh, I'm not against him. Listen, hey,
You back off
easy
of the
killer.
Muppets.
Easy killer. Nothing. I am for the Muppets. You know that, okay? I like the Muppets.
New Tarzan movie is directed by a guy named David Yates, who did the last 4 Harry Potters and the new Harry Potter, so that's that. Tell us about Jason Bourne on July 29th. Now you can turn the page.
Let me just hide my excitement from the last Ghostbusters, Secret Life, and Legend of Tarzan.
I know.
I want to try to rein in my excitement. The Jason Bourne. I mean, look. here's another one. Oh, the first one did so good. Let's keep making them.
Let's keep rehashing
Now,
it
I
forever.
It's just dumb. I saw the first two. By the way, the Jason Bourne series starring Matt Damon starts after Matt Damon was good looking. So at this point, he's all muscled out and he looks like, all flexed up. And
looks
give me a
haggard.
break. Yeah, I mean, Shaggy's where it's
Well, that's why they put
Right.
Tommy Lee Jones in this one, I guess, to maybe not make him look not
Well,
so
because the
haggard.
Shar-Pei was sick that week, so they had to get someone to fill in with the wrinkles. But, oh, come on. I'm just busting his bees. Tommy Lee Jones, he's awesome. I love him. I would do things to him to get into a movie. But I'm just saying... I mean, look, it's Matt Damon doing karate.
Right.
I'm just, it's.
You know how you have like different
It's enough.
chapters. You know how you have different chapters of your life, and like
Was that too filthy, by the way?
No,
when I
no,
said
no,
for
no.
your-
It's all
okay,
good. You have different chapters of your life, and like I
Sure.
just remember the Jason Bourne, like whatever the first one was, coming out in a way past where I worked at the time.
Well, because it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, ridiculous. Now we sound like old women. But all right, July 15th, there's this movie coming out called Equals. And I noted it because the plot or whatever is that it's a futuristic society where emotions have been outlawed.
That's not futuristic.
How-
That's my parents' house. That's
Nothing
comedy,
folks.
futuristic about it. Thank you.
But as far as sci-fi go, how lame and tired is that? A society where emotions are...
I mean, Gattaca.
100 things.
I mean,
In the 80s, it was water is a precious commodity. That was everything was like ice pirates and solar babies and all these things.
Waterworld.
Yeah, all these waters are now futuristic society where emotions have been outlawed. Give me a break. If anything,
Minority
emotions.
Report's
If
another
anything,
one.
we're going in the opposite direction where your emotions count for everything. you
Right,
know? Right.
That's yeah. Well, eventually somebody will make a movie where a human gets. I mean, I guess they already sort of did with that terrible piece of junk that Joaquin the Hair Lip Phoenix did. With that, where he's like in love with a computer.
Oh,
but
Her.
But at some point, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be that they put someone's whole existence into a computer.
I watched Whole on or Her. Sorry, I watched Her.
You watched her whole on.
I watched Her on DVD, and I fell asleep. And I woke up. When I woke up, like the phone was like raping somebody. I don't.
Oh my
I
God,
don't even know what was going. I didn't know what was going on, but like I
Well, I
woke
don't
up
want
and it
you to
was a
think
sex
I-
scene, and the phone was like talking, like do
boy.
it, and yikes! All right, let's move on.
I don't want you to think I hate Joaquin Phillips. He's not River. So or Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, he's not River. So I'm still
July-
very bitter about the fact that he's alive and River Phoenix is dead. So
He's gone. July 22nd, and we don't. Now, Star Trek is the 13th Star Trek Beyond. Not a rehash. I mean, it's just
oh,
still,
I'm totally for that.
it's still going strong.
I
And-
love anything Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
I'm totally
Alright.
for that.
Alright.
I'm a big fan of the original. I'm a big fan of several of the TV series that have come out. But any of the movies, I'm always interested in seeing that.
And actually, we have I have a special Star Trek podcast coming up this summer planned, so we'll
Sweet.
save it all for that.
Maybe V'ger will show up.
Maybe. July 22nd, the Absolutely Fabulous the movie. I feel this is going to suffer
Oh,
the same
boy.
as Angry Birds, that it's way past the point of who gives a crap.
You know how you feel about Melissa McCarthy? That's
Yeah.
how I feel about Absolutely
These two?
Fabulous. Yeah, the show, the two of them, I can't stand it. And I am a huge fan of some of those British sitcoms,
Right.
especially the Are You Being Served?
I was
going to
bring that up. That's why I
Oh
put
my
it
god!
in.
Yeah, there you go. See how simpatico.
Where's the movie of that?
No kidding. Well, most of them are dead though. But I mean, you could
Recast it.
You
with
could
Ma-
do it. Yeah,
With Melissa McCarthy.
Right, as Mrs. Slocum.
Then there's this movie coming out called Bad Moms on July 29th, which has Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, Katherine Hahn, and Christina Applegate. And they are like these moms. Well, the first three of them are they're moms, and they get sick of this whole like
Okay.
the Pinterest life where they have to show up to the birthday party with the gluten-free cupcakes. And
Oh, boy.
this and that, and they decide to rebel. And Christina Applegate's the perfect mom who whatever. And I saw it, and I was like, I saw the trailer. Sorry. And it's like, whatever. And then I watched, or then when I was putting this list together and researching everybody, it's written and directed by John Lucas and Scott Moore, who did the Hangover trilogy. And
Interesting.
That's pretty good. And they did a movie called The Change Up, which wasn't fantastic, but it was really funny with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds, where they swap places, and like he's the dad and he's the bachelor. and they
Okay,
switch.
yeah, I did not see that one.
That was really, really funny. And then they also did 21 and Over, which I like a lot, which is like a silly teenage sex comedy. But
I haven't seen that one.
It was
either.
one of the better ones. So
I saw 2 of the 3 Hangover movies though, and I thought they were good.
You didn't get the full hangover.
I did not get the full hangover, but I will say that this movie doesn't sound very appealing to me. I think that Christina Applegate is an amazingly underrated actress.
She's great, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she gets as much. I mean, when I see her doing a movie like that, I think, wow, she's so much better of an actress, of an actor, than something like that. And
she's always like in the second seat. She's never in the front.
Yeah,
seat.
and she
Even
really
like
should
Anchorman and The Last Vacation.
Yeah, and she can carry it. She's a really great.
Do you
actress.
know who Catherine Hahn is? You might recognize her if you've seen her. She was on.
Was she in Beetlejuice?
No, that's Catherine O'Hara. You're thinking
Okay,
of,
right.
Who's an institution of film.
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn is a newer actress. She was really, really good on Parks and Rec, and she's been I think she's an up and comer.
Well, the problem, no, I don't know who she is exactly.
Mike and Dave need wedding dates, July 8th. Honestly, all I need
doesn't even sound like a movie.
That's all I need. Is
sounds
the
like a
title.
problem.
That's the title of the movie, and that's all I need. I love movies with titles like that. Two brothers place an online ad to find wedding dates, and the ad goes viral. So it's going to be
well,
wacky
Zac
comedy.
Efron. That's the thing is they're pushing Zac Efron. I don't know who these other people are. I think Anna Kendrick. I feel like
Andy Devine is on Workaholics. I don't care for him.
Oh! I happen to think he's hysterical.
Okay.
I know you don't like them, honestly.
Honestly, after that big diatribe I went on Ghostbusters, I don't think I've seen more than 5 minutes of Workaholics. I just don't care.
I find them hysterical. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick was in Pitch Perfect, the Cup Song. And
I feel
Aubrey
like I know
Plaza
her.
was in Parks and Rec.
Yeah, okay. I was at Aubrey Plaza in Texas.
Right, yeah, it was very beautiful.
Nice place.
It was great. And then this isn't going to be a big film, but I saw this coming out, and I noted it as a movie called Life Animated, July 8th. Not that it matters because it's a documentary, so it's not going to be playing anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it.
It's about a kid who has a passion for Disney animated films, and he's an autistic young man, and it helps him communicate with his family.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cool.
Sounds interesting.
So it's okay. I see here you said documentary. I missed that part.
Yes.
Okay, well that actually does sound quite interesting to me. I might be interested in that.
And then look at the bottom of the list there. 2 more to fill in the summer movie, craptastic, remake, rehash, whatever. Ice Age Collision Course on July 26th. Give me a break.
I mean, 2 icebergs are going to hit each other, and then...
Do you know what the Ice Age movies are?
I have
They're
no
like
clue.
cartoons.
I've seen like little
Foxes
clips of
and
them, and it was like a
elephants
squirrel or something.
Oh,
and-
Jesus. That's enough of that, Ice Age. I think it's
No, I
the
don't
5th
want
one. Good God. And on July 1st, The Purge election year.
Oh, they're doing another one of those
Yeah, I
now.
think that's the
Okay,
third
so
one,
now,
right?
Well, yeah, because the concept itself is actually an interesting one. I think. I don't know if I saw the first one.
I haven't seen any of them, but I know it's like a night where all
God,
laws
it sounds
are
like heaven on earth. Yeah, all laws are just abolished,
right.
and
Anything goes.
for a certain amount of time, 24 hours or whatever. It's anything goes. You want to kill someone, go out and kill them, but you might get killed yourself, so it's kind of dangerous.
At any part in that movie, do they go into a round of Anything Goes? Do they sing that song? Anything Goes.
They do not, but I do believe they get a hot game of Parcheesi going on in the second one. So,
July 1st, everybody's excited about the BFG. It's a Steven Spielberg movie based on a Roald Dahl book. So
yeah, hold on a minute. Let me wake up and I'll look into that.
so I think, but the trilogy here that's going in this is going to be not the trilogy, the trifecta that this is going to be a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
People are excited to see an adaptation of the BFG, a Roald Dahl book. He did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and lots of movies lots of books that became pretty
Ruin
popular
Willy
movies.
Wonka for me. Yeah, got it.
Oh, come on. And he did not ruin Willy Wonka for you as much as the second one did for more people. It didn't ruin it for anybody, people. Come on. Spielberg's directing it, so that right there. And then it stars Mark Rylance, who won the Best Supporting Actor last year. So now he's got like a lead role. So
okay, cool.
That's good. Now we're going to get into August. August 5th, three movies coming out on August 5th. I have an interest in all 3 of them. August 5th, Suicide Squad's the big one. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I don't think so.
It is in the DC Comics universe. I'm not sure exactly where it falls, but it's got a bunch of second-level characters.
Yeah. Okay.
Deadshot, played by Will Smith here, and then Harley Quinn comes to the big screen for the first time, played by Margot Robbie, which I hear a lot of people complaining about her doing this. I don't even know who she is. All I know is she looks...
I've heard the name.
She looks amazingly, ridiculously hot in this, and
well, that's why she's doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why they're having her do it.
Yeah, who cares about anything else? And then these other characters, Enchantress, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, all these like second
Yeah, I
level.
don't know these people.
They're
Slipknot
trying-
I've heard of.
And then
Monster T, boy, I pity the fool that tries to mess with him. Boy.
Jared Leto as the Joker.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are excited to see that.
Well, he's
good.
really amazing actor.
Was he in? He
Dallas
was in the
Buyers
Dallas
Club.
Buyers Club.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal.
He was
film,
truly
yeah.
amazing in that.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him on what was it My Life or something. It was some MTV show.
My So-Called Life?
My So-Called
Oh,
Life.
was he in
was
that?
on that one, I think.
I did not know that.
I might be getting the wrong show, but he was on one of those MTV shows.
And then when I was looking this up, Ben Affleck is playing Batman in this one too. So who knows how that goes? Now,
Not
probably
a big fan of Ben Affleck. Personally.
the-
Just because I said how much I loved Matt Damon, or if I didn't, I
Right.
think Matt Damon's good. I'm just not a big fan of Ben Affleck.
Affleck. He's a good filmmaker though, but he's not directing this or
I'm not
writing
saying
this
that
or
he's not
whatever.
a good filmmaker. I'm
But-
not a fan of him as an actor.
In my second place spot for a film I'm most excited to see this summer, after Finding Dory, is a movie called 9 Lives, which
Oh,
comes out
boy.
on August 5th with
Oh,
these other
boy.
movies.
Oh, boy.
Would you like to read the description of it that I wrote?
I would
down?
love to. 9 Lives, August 5th. Kevin Spacey, a selfish billionaire, finds himself trapped inside the body of his family cat.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Christopher Walken, Jennifer
It's going to
Garner.
be so good. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? No.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. I know it's going to be garbage, but here's the thing. We are in 2016. People are cynical.
Yeah.
People do not like this kind of stuff, and this movie's coming out. This
No,
sounds
because
like
it's
some...
just not even a remote possibility that he would be stuck in his cat. So
Well, and why is Kevin Spacey in this movie? He's like isn't House
This-
of Cards is
this-
like one of the most serious shows
right.
on
Well,
television.
he's one of the most accomplished actors
Right.
living.
Right.
And
Christopher Walken, and then Christopher Walken is in it. Did you say that? And Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken just like whacked out of his mind. So to
Well,
put him in
he's
this,
yeah. I mean, everybody loves him.
But this just sounds like an old '70s Disney film, and they're
Mm,
doing
it
it in
doesn't
2016. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure it's going to be bad, but
This is what I was going to say.
Yes.
Was this is Kevin Spacey's version of De Niro being in
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, right? Or like Dustin Hoffman being in Hook. Like, give me a break.
and it's directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, who did the Men in Black films and
Great-
the Addams
great
Family,
director.
and yeah. So who knows about that? And then a serious film on August 5th that I'm very excited about is called The Founder, which is about
interesting.
Ray Kroc. I just discovered this a couple of weeks ago. Ray Kroc, who's the founder of McDonald's, and the story of how he kind of stole the concept of how McDonald's
From the McDonald's brothers. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and it's in it, and it's Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc, and Michael Keaton
interesting.
is fantastic. And then
Well,
it's
he's Mr. Mom.
He is. He is.
Nobody does Mr. Mom and Batman. Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. We went on.
Beetlejuice, let's go on the list.
We went on and on about him in the last episode. I'm sure you listened, right? I'm
I
sure
know
you
I
all,
did.
Yeah, I'm sure you all out there listened. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The Founder.
That sounds interesting. I'm always up for a good documentary, even if it's
Well, it's
done as a
biopic,
docudrama
yeah.
or something. Yeah,
And it's
biopic,
by the guy that did The Blind Side and Saving Mr. Banks.
which I still need to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I really
I think we
want to
talked
see
about
Yep,
that on the
I
other
really
show.
want to see it.
August 12th, also a Sausage Party, which I just showed Kevin
That
the
was
trailer
funny.
for. This is an animated film, but it's R-rated, and it's very, very R-rated.
Definitely
With
not what I expected.
Seth Rogen and Edward Norton playing Sammy Bagel Jr.
Indeed. Well, that kind of just hip and swinging, Daddy.
Sammy
Bagel Jr. here.
All you would have to tell me is there's a cartoon movie called Sammy Bagel with Sammy Bagel Jr. in it, and I'm there. I'm gonna go.
Wait till the press gets a hold of the fact that Edward Norton's playing him. Anyway,
And then let's just finish up August here. We got on August 12th, Pete's Dragon, a remake of Pete's Dragon, and I think this is going to flop miserably because do you remember Pete's Dragon?
I feel like I do, but I'm also might be getting it confused with Puff the Magic Dragon, which there was a...
There was a cartoon of that
Yeah.
too. But Pete's Dragon is a movie, and it didn't do great, and it wasn't whatever. But the whole thing of the movie was it's a live action movie, and it was a cartoon dragon in it.
Okay.
Now that was made in 1977 when that kind of thing wasn't commonplace.
virtually unheard of.
Right,
you know?
and the cartoon is a cartoon. It's a hand-drawn, flat cartoon with the real people. Now they remade it. The dragon looks completely real. So what's the point? I don't understand. And the original's a musical. This one's not.
Well, that's another thing. They remake stuff because now they have technology that can make things look better and different.
but better's
and-
not better.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Take that to the bank, guys.
Hashtag better's not better.
Better's not better.
And Bryce Dallas Howard, whoever that is, you
She's
know.
gorgeous. She was.
Oh,
in,
that's a girl?
yeah. She was in
Oh, okay.
Jurassic World.
Oh, okay. I thought that
She's-
was the guy, Bryce.
She's Ron Howard's daughter.
Wow. So she's a bald redhead. That's awesome.
She's
No, I'm just kidding.
she's a redhead.
That's awesome. I
All
didn't know
of
that.
Ron Howard's children are named for the city that they were conceived in.
Oh, nice. How many
Isn't that
kids does he
disgusting?
have?
3 or 4, I don't
That
know.
is disgusting a little bit. But, look, Bryce Dallas Buyers Club Howard wouldn't have it any other way, so leave her alone. Robert Redford, eh.
Robert Redford's in the Pete's Dragon. Yeah, I like him. Kevin, how excited are you on August 19th to see Kickboxer Vengeance?
I want Jean-Claude Van Damme to kick me in the face. That's how excited I am. That way he can knock me out and I don't have to sit through another one of his movies.
How about on August 19th, the remake of Ben-Hur?
Bah humbug.
Ugh.
Seriously, it just, I've been saying it this whole time. The remakes, the reboots, the redux, the resurgence, the revengeance,
Right.
the remission, whatever you want to call it. Stop it with the remaking, lady!
And then listen to this one. On August 26th, Bloodfather. Mel Gibson must dig into his dangerous past to
Oh,
protect his estranged daughter from a brutal drug
Hey,
cartel.
I said I love a good documentary.
Hasn't Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Gibson made that movie 23 times already.
Yep. It's called Mel Gibson's Life in Lights. But this is how you're supposed to say it. Bloodfather.
In a world
Mel
where Mel
Gibson.
Gibson, anyone cares about what Mel Gibson does.
Must dig into his past where he was amazingly anti-Semitic and protect his estranged daughter from the brutal Jews. Okay.
Movie people are looking forward to August 19th, War Dogs with Jonah Miller and Miles Teller.
Jonah Hill?
What'd I say?
Jonah Miller?
Did I say that?
Yeah. Jonah, what happened to him? Anyway,
Somebody we knew from our past.
Right.
But also the same name as the bad guy in Twister, which I always loved that fact.
oh wow, I couldn't remember that. Although I remember Helen Hunt being in it. She's quite a handsome woman. Jonah Hill really blew me away in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah?
So,
Was he-
I thought he was amazing before that, but I would really love to see anything he's doing.
Was he fat Jonah Miller or God, why Jonah Hill? Was he fat Jonah Hill or skinny Jonah
He
Hill?
was kind of medium.
in medium, because now he's fat again
Yeah.
in this one, which is the way I like him. I like my Jonah Hill.
I think that once a fat, always a fat.
That's what I say. And last on my list here, Kubo and the Two Strings, which was an animated film that I had a lot of...
Never heard of it.
Well, they haven't started the
Sounds
push.
like a college band. That isn't going to
Ladies
last
and
very
gentlemen,
long.
Kubo and the Two Strings. Ba-dum-bum.
They're opening up for the band that's opening up for the band.
They're opening up
That's
for...
actually headlining.
They're
the
opening
act.
up for Bloodfather.
Right.
I heard a lot of good stuff about this, and then I found out it's from the studio that did Coraline and Box Trolls, and now I could care less about it. So,
I, too, could care less about it. I, Two Strings, could care less about it.
So that's going to wrap it up for the What's Your Favorites movie summer
page flipped.
movie preview. What do you think you're most excited to see, Kevin?
Well, probably. I already forgot the name of it, so
So
you
that's
can
how
tell
excited
that's
you
how
are.
excited I am. I think I'm probably excited to see the Jonah Hill movie.
There you go, War Dogs.
Yeah, War Dogs.
For me, it's all Finding Dory. It's all pops and clicks, and we're going to take my 3-year-old daughter to see it. It'll be
Awesome.
her first official movie because the day she was born, they announced the movie.
Oh wow!
So
She hasn't been to any movies.
we
yet?
took her to one of the freebie summer movies last summer, but I've been waiting for Finding Dory to be her first official
okay.
movie because
Gotcha,
I am a giant movie dork, which is why
Well,
I'm sitting in
hey,
my basement
hence
recording
the
a movie.
podcast.
Exactly. All right, Kevin, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
my
us.
friend.
You can find Kevin, as we may have mentioned, Kevin Joel Ander 2 on Twitter. Myself is at Ed South, and the movie, the podcast is at WYF Movie Podcast. And folks, if you've listened to this far, if you could take a minute, please go onto the iTunes thing, subscribe to the show, rate it, review it. All these things help us out in the long run so we can build a bigger and better show for you, the listening audience. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I love it.
You bet you guys. And until next time, remember, it's khaki dreams and cookie wishes. Just keep swimming. Bye-bye.